figured it was Polish, so I tried to figure out what the PRZY sound's supposed to be. That was close.
Yeah.
Better
Yeah,
than Nick would have done.
it's Polish, so it's yeah.
Yeah, Nick would have butchered the crap out of that.
100%. Okay.
Why is it not showing us on YouTube, Nicholas?
Should be.
Oh, there we go. Nick Carboni's personal meeting room. Couldn't even rename it.
Oh, I
Jeez.
didn't, did I? Shit. How do I go back?
Oh, I don't know.
Crap. Yeah, good enough. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know.
All right, you ready to go live or hit record?
Yep.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Do your intro. Episode 105.
Yep.
Brooke Crystal.
Crystal. Welcome back to the Old World Paranormal Podcast, episode 105. Last week, Nick was one-on-one with the amazing Teresa Canizaro. The week before that, Nick and I had another little round table. We just talked about a little bit of everything, actually. It was kind of interesting. If you want to listen to us rant and rave for an hour, those episodes will be up very, very soon. Today we have with us the owner of Wildwood Sanitarium, also a public speaker, CEO at Wildwood Holistics, and she has been seen on Paranormal Lockdown and Deathwalker with our good friend Nick Groff. Be sure to scroll back among the podcast episodes to catch our interview with Nick Groff, because that was pretty awesome. And hopefully we'll be able to have him back and see what kind of progress he's making too. So, Nick, you had a pretty awesome weekend down at the old Blackford County Jail. Did a Paranormal 101, taught some people the basics of paranormal investigation and research. And after that, had a fun night investigating the Blackford County Jail, which those of you that are listening, if you're local, if you're far away, if you have an opportunity to come on down and book that place, please do. It's right down the street from the Monroe House, so you'll be able to see that while you're investigating. And even cooler is if you can take your team, split them in two, run out both places on the same night, and do some experimentation between the two locations. So lots of cool stuff going on over the weekend. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, it felt great to get back to teaching again.
Yep.
You know, it's coming up on a year, almost a year. I mean, actually today, a year ago, we had the huge paranormal event featuring a lot of YouTubers and TikTokers and content creators at the Bell.
Sure did.
That popped up on my memories today, but it's been a while since we've been able to teach, paranormal 101 classes, paranormal kids classes, stuff like that. So it felt good to get back to the roots of doing that Saturday, and we had a blast with the people there and the public investigation. It was definitely an interesting night. We look forward to more, and if you want to come to another event like that at the old Blackford County Jail, I think the next one we will have is May 4th. So you can come and buy a
Star
ticket.
Wars Day.
Yeah, May the 4th be with you. Yeah.
Star Wars Day at the old Blackford County Jail. But anyway, all that aside, Brooke, thanks for joining us tonight on the Old World Paranormal Podcast. We're glad to have you.
Yeah, thank you for the invite, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully we'll be able to find out a little about you, a little bit about Wildwood, and we're gonna have some fun along the way. Nick prepared you, but only a little bit, so you're in for a wild ride for the next hour, just so you know.
I'm very interested.
Well, let's just start it off for all our listeners. Now we forgot to tell you that we are in 40 countries. So you have to explain yourself in 40 different languages.
Okay, I'll try.
While you're doing that, I'm going to pull it up and see if we have any listeners in Poland. So go ahead,
Oh yeah. Shout out
because we
Poland,
might.
maybe. We'll see. No, let's first off, I did not know you are as young as you are.
Yeah, yeah.
When Bree told me that, it absolutely blew my mind.
Yep, yeah.
You know, meeting you and you know, and especially with Bree meeting you, get to know you a little better. You have the mentality of somebody of not that age. Like you're a very
Yeah.
intelligent, well put together person. So when she told me that, I'm like, no, no fucking way. I don't believe that.
I've been told that my whole entire life, so that's okay.
Hey, 3 listeners in Poland, by the way.
Oh, that's so
Shout
cool.
shout out to the Poles.
Yeah.
So I want you to take us back to and give us the story. Obviously you've recently purchased Wildwood from your mother, correct?
Yes. Yep.
So let's take a step back and tell us why your mom decided to buy this old sanitarium.
So like starting really far back, we started investigating maybe 10 years ago. We started kind of how a lot of people started, had experience when I was younger. So then my mom was obviously interested in it. We went to our first public ghost hunt at the Van Horn Mansion, which is a place out by us.
Yeah.
Out by like almost like on Canada. It's way up there in New York. So we kind of started there, and then we kind of got in that group that we started with, and then became kind of like guides for them, ran public ghost hunts with them. And so we were known in the town as the weird people that ghost hunted, because obviously, I mean, you've been to Salmaca, there's no one there, there's nothing there. So we were the weird ghost hunters.
So
And
hold on a
my
second, Brooke.
mom,
Say the
yeah,
town name again.
Salamaca.
Salamanca.
Yes.
See, I got confused because have you ever seen the TV show Breaking Bad?
Yes, yeah.
And that one guy, the guys with like the Salamanca, Salamanca.
Yeah,
So
that's
I'm
how a
like,
lot of people
Hector
say it.
Salamanca.
yeah,
Yeah, that's how a lot of people say it. When like I open for groups and stuff, I always like chuckle a little bit. But yeah, it's Native American, so the whole town is yeah, tribal land and everything. But so my mom was in the town and she got approached by one of her friends at the gas station. You know, you see her all the time or whatever. And she said, "Are you still into that like ghost hunting crap? Did you know that old creepy hospitals for sale in Salmaca?" And my mom didn't know what the heck she was talking about. I mean, we didn't know this place exists. There's still people that live near us that still don't know it exists. Because it's like, back off the road, like people
right.
don't think that's in their town. But and then like instantly as soon as my mom saw it, she became obsessed with it. Like really unhealthily obsessed with it. She probably toured it like 3 times before the owner, he said, look, Lori, if you don't want it, you don't want it. If you want it, I'm gonna list it with a realtor and the price is gonna triple. So that's, she just kind of went for it. And here we are almost 7 years later. So,
Now, why did she decide to sell it to you?
so last year, a lot of people know my mom got diagnosed with breast cancer. And actually she was a super rare case. So, uh, the type that she had was triple negative breast cancer, which usually only affects women under 40. So it was super aggressive and everything. So she just wanted to make sure that the house stayed in the family and nothing happened if something did happen. So
Gotcha. Well,
yeah,
definitely makes sense. Definitely makes sense.
yeah.
Uh, it is. I tell you what, I've only personally been there once, and it
Mhm.
was last September, and I was shocked because you think sanitarium, hospital, it's going to be on a main drag, blah, blah, blah. You're going to be pulling down the main road, and there it is off
Yeah.
into, up in the trees and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Uh, and I remember following Jen from Bump of the Night over to Wildwood, and I'm like, where is she going?
Yeah.
The next thing I know, we're like in this neighborhood and we turn a corner, and I'm like, holy shit, there it is.
Yep. Bam. There it
Like,
is.
it is
Yep.
literally like in a neighborhood.
Yep. Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously you guys have done your research on this property and everything, but
Mm.
how did this house, now it looks smaller, but
Mhm.
when you get inside, it just keeps freaking
Yeah.
going.
Yep.
It's like an optical illusion.
And it really is. Definitely.
You look outside, you're like, that don't make sense. Then you get inside and it just keeps going and going and going.
Yep.
How did this
Yeah.
house in this neighborhood? Because I'm assuming some of these houses had to have been there when this was built.
Hmm.
How did that house become what it was?
Yeah. So, you know how like there's the front houses, so right in front of the building, those houses were there at that point. Well, at least a few of them, because I actually looked at one because one was for sale, and I was curious, like when was that house built? And it was built not too long after the sanitarium. But they own most of that block because the plan was to eventually adventure out, make the place bigger. But both the doctors passed away before they were able to make that happen. So it would have been, I mean, they owned that whole block there.
Right. So
Mhm.
the two doctors, did they build this structure to as a doctor's office and et cetera, or did they buy a house and convert it?
So that's something we're not exactly sure, but what we think is that they purchased it because we've read different newspaper articles and stuff like that, and it says when they bought it and were waiting to make renovations, and they were waiting for the previous tenants to move out. We found like a newspaper article that said that. And like the article said that they did the most renovations in the basement where they had the bathhouse treatments and all that, which makes sense. So I think someone lived there before that, but we don't really know why or who or what or where or when. So
Right. Because when you stand outside and you look at it, it resembles a house.
yes, yep,
But when you go inside the property, none of it really makes sense.
yes, yep.
You,
And they definitely changed it around too. So they made it apartments in the 70s, and they definitely changed stuff around too. You can just tell, like you said, stuff just doesn't make sense. Like it really doesn't. So they definitely changed it around too when they made the apartments.
because I was expecting, and I even talked to Bree about this. We were talking about Wildwood in specific and coming up with ideas, you know, for events and stuff like that, or paracons or whatnot. And I was telling her, I was explaining to her how the layout just doesn't make sense.
No, it
To me, I
doesn't.
just kept saying that. And I
No.
said, what I expected was when I walked in the front door, I was expecting more of like a grand room.
Yep. Hmm.
And instead, it's not. It's a small entryway, and then you walk into a very long but L-shaped living room, and then there's this hall. Like they had to have built that hallway.
I 100% agree with that. I've always thought that that was added on.
Yeah, and because I was telling her, I was like, man, if I was Brooke, I would just take that wall down and open it up, and then where that front
We've
bedroom
talked
is,
about that. Yeah,
that
we've
front
talked about that.
the front bedroom where the mirror fell for Nick and
Mhm.
Katrina, and it's like, man, I would just take all that out. So when you walk in, you just boom, you got this huge room, and You can still have the bathroom there and the stairway that goes upstairs, but maybe open it up and make it look, I was just like, I was just rambling through my head. It's
Yeah.
like, man, yeah, it makes sense now. You said in the 70s, somebody made it apartments.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, but no, I've definitely thought about the same thing because that's something that we do lack is not having a big open room to do things in.
Mhm.
So that's why we've always thought about taking out that hallway and everything because then we'll have that extra space.
Yeah. Because to me, I just think of it structural. I've been in construction for 26 years. So
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no way, even the wall that caps the bedroom, the front bedroom,
Mhm.
I'm like, that wall's not original.
No,
There's no way.
no,
And then
no,
you
there's
got
no
the
way.
little other wall that closes off where the bathroom is. I'm like, well, so it's not load bearing, so you just take it out,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Don't tell me that. I'll start taking a sledgehammer to the thing.
I guarantee you it's not. There's no way that's a load bearing.
I think the same thing. And actually, so I'll tell you this too. The front bedroom has a door that was plastered over at one point. And so there was second entrance there too at one point. So I don't know, like maybe when it was apartments, they had like a second exit, or I don't know what they did there. But the door is still there and everything. It's just on the other side, it's just plastered over. So I don't know.
You know what? Now that you say that, now I realize that. I
Yeah.
just assumed the door was there.
Yeah. No,
Maybe it's a portal.
It's
maybe.
definitely a
There we
portal.
go. It's
And
it's a
all
portal.
it's a
Definitely.
portal and like 100 demons a day come through it.
Yes, definitely.
100%. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's food for thought. Maybe down the line,
Yeah, yeah.
you know. I know a guy that's handy with some stuff, so maybe I can talk him to coming up and
All right.
helping.
Your people call my people,
Oh,
okay?
okay. Yeah. So what, I mean, you guys started a while ago in the paranormal, going up and volunteering, you eventually get Wildwood, but why even have the interest for the paranormal, family wise?
Um, yeah, so it all started when I was a little kid. And I didn't know about this till I was like a early teen. I just thought it was just like this weird little thing that happened every once in a while. But as a child, I was probably like 2 or 3 years old, and my mom tells the story to everyone all the time. I saw my uncle that passed away very tragically when my mom was younger. And I saw him fly through the window. This is what I told my mom, that he flew through the window, and it was my first camping trip. And he told me not to be scared. That's what I told her. And then just like weird things growing up, I constantly would see him. Like if I had something really crazy in my life, or I got super sick or something like that, I would see him. And that still happens every once in a while. Not as much as it used to though. But so that's kind of where it started. But actually with the Van Horn mansion, so my mom is a Van Horn. Her mom was a Van Horn and everything, and her
Okay.
mom used to talk about the Van Horn mansion and everything. So we actually went there for a family reunion
Oh,
with my whole
nice.
mom's side of the family and everything. And then we were looking at their brochures and we saw that they did ghost hunts. And we're like, oh, well, that's cool. So we, went one and then fell in love with it. I mean, it was the coolest thing. So, and that place is still one of our favorite places. We try to go out like once a year and we love it there. So that's kind of what started it all.
So you've seen your uncle multiple times.
Yes. Yep.
Now, is this just because the family connection, or does Brooke have a little bit more gifts?
Well, yeah, I used to do readings and all that stuff, but people, I couldn't deal with the people. So I did. with that, like I realized that I had gifts, and my mom did as well. So when I was a teenager, I was that weird kid that their mom put them in a psychic academy, and I did that for a while. So I got like a certification or whatever for being a medium. I don't really believe in that, but I do have it. And like I'm a Reiki master and stuff too for healing for people, animals, and all that kind of stuff too.
Okay. So
I think what we need to do, I think we need to do an experiment. I think we need to put her in a room with a bunch of sick people and then get her sick and then put her in a bed
Oh,
in a room by herself surrounded with cameras. Well, she said
see
her
what
uncle
happens.
comes to her when she's sick.
Yeah, I
So
mean
if we get
that.
her sick and
Okay.
put
I was like, where are
cameras in
you
the
Yeah,
going
room,
with this?
yeah, if we get her sick and put cameras all over the room, maybe we'll get something.
that would be actually pretty interesting.
Yeah.
His picture is actually at Wildwood. The guy that's in the airbrush painting with the on the motorcycle, that's him. On the
Oh,
third
okay.
floor. So he's actually out, has that little bit at Wildwood too.
Hmm. So just because people are crazy is why you stopped doing your mediumship and your Reiki healings and
Yeah, and it just got to be like really overwhelming too, especially because at that point I was pregnant with my son too. And I'm really weird about this. It's always been a thing. Like when I'm pregnant, I don't like to do ghost hunting and all that. Because when you think about it, like you're in a really vulnerable state. So it just I don't know, it's just always been a thing with me. I've always been like that. So like after obviously having him, I didn't really get back into doing readings and everything. Just kind of shifted into a different spot because obviously then I had Wildwood because I've always been like co-owner with my mom. So I was always helping her with that and everything, and it kind of got away from me.
so let's talk about Wildwood itself and with you and your mom having gifts and stuff. What was the initial connection like between you and your mom and the spirits in the house?
So we always so the big thing that really drew my mom in is she got a feeling that the house wanted to return to what it once was, which was a place of healing. And I think the spirits agree with that, and like the doctors and stuff from what people have gotten on spirit boxes. I mean, even Bree has told me like the nurses check up on her while she's sleeping, that kind of thing. So I think that's really what the house wanted was to return to something healing. And, she was a Reiki person at that point and, a healer and all that. And the house does heal people. I mean, like, Bree said, it's, her comfort place. And a lot of people say that. I mean, well, it's really funny. We'll come there like in the summer to open up for groups, and there's like people like walking barefoot in the yard and stuff, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're just grounding, don't mind us," or just different stuff like that. Like it's very healing. And we always joke like public ghost hunts. We always joke, "Oh, someone always cries because they think that they are connecting with a loved one, or they think they hear them on the spirit box, something like that. That's happened a ton of times too.
I can I can see you and Zach pulling up to the front of the building and you get out and there's some weirdo that's naked in your yard doing snow angels. You're like, what are you doing? I'm cleansing my energy.
Similar things have happened. I'll never forget the one time this lady saw us pull up and stuff, and she's like, "Can I eat the mushrooms in your yard? I think they're healing mushrooms and I can eat them." And I'm like, I mean, you can, but I'm not responsible if something happens.
Right.
Because the
Please sign this form.
one tree, yeah, the one tree, it like has these giant mushrooms that grow at the bottom of it. I don't know why or what they are or what, but she said they're magical mushrooms and she was gonna eat them. So I don't know.
I bet they are.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now, the spirits in the house, there's a lot of layers there. There's a lot
Yes.
of different things going on, and each floor is kind of different. But to me, I mean, the little time I spent there, excuse me, and obviously hearing all the stories and the videos um, from
Mhm.
Bree with remotely paranormal to being there investigating, or just coming up to see you and staying and investigating. I think the doctor on the third floor is like the numero uno
Mhm.
of the
I would
spirit.
agree with that. Yeah, I would agree with that.
What other spirits in the house are do you think are like? I know we're going to interact with them. I know they're there 24/7. Um, like what role do they play in the hauntings of Wildwood?
So definitely like the two doctors are normally pretty much always there. Dr. Perry is the one that you're talking about. He's usually up on the third floor. He's very serious, that kind of thing. And then Dr. Henderson is usually on the second floor. And he's actually the first spirit that I saw at Wildwood. In we used to call the tarp room. It's where you walk up the stairs from the first floor. Tommy's room's on the left, Tommy's room's on the right, the room on the left.
Mm-hmm.
That's where he was the first time I saw him. And that's usually where he hangs out. He will go to different spots, but that's usually like the floor that he's on. Everyone knows Tommy, obviously. That's like the first thing anyone tries to connect to is always Tommy. He is pretty much always there. He's a little boy spirit. People have gotten over the years that he's between like 8 and 10, right around there. Some people he like jokes with them and wants them to call him Thomas, and then some of them call him Tommy, so it's a little different. And his room is on the second floor, but he's usually in the basement actually, which is weird, I know, but that's where
Huh.
he likes to hang out. That's what it's been for probably a year or two now. That's what he's been doing. Um, like other common names too, we always get like a rose, which is I don't know if it's connected, but when we were doing some work in the rooms, we found immigration papers from Germany, and the name on that is Rose. But
Oh wow.
then there's another connection too. So we have a postcard that Tim Shaw actually owns. In that postcard, the woman talks about how she came to Wildwood to clear her thoughts, and her name was Rose as well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So as you go up the second floor, Tommy's on the right. You go into the room on the left, but you
Mhm.
keep going past the room on the left. There's another door.
Yes.
Now, on the other side of this door is a seance room.
Yes.
And then the other unique feature on the second floor, if you keep going, and then there's a room on the left, there are, I don't know, what, 500 dolls in there?
Yeah. Probably. Yep.
Something like that. So explain the explain the reasoning behind the seance room.
The seance room. So that was just kind of so when we my mom bought the sanitarium, she wanted to do different room themes. And that's just something that we kind of both agreed on because that circle table that's there was actually there when we bought the place. And then the
Oh, okay.
chandelier and everything. And we both kind of thought to each other, we're like, this looks like a seance room. Like this is, the circle table and everything. And a lot of people that's actually like one of the most active places in the house. And like me personally, I've experienced the most in that room as well. I mean, I've seen the chandelier swing like a pendulum. I I the only time so in the 10 years that I've been ghost hunting, the only time I've ever been scratched was in that room, and it was on my hand. So it just kind of developed into that. Like the doll room too. I mean, the doll room didn't start as the doll room, it just kind of developed to that. It started out as, oh, we're gonna have a little girl's room and a little boy's room. That one's pink and that one's painted blue, done, that's what it is. And then it just kind of progressed into that. So
The doll room is interesting for sure. your your guess, how many of those dolls do you think actually have some type of spiritual energy to them?
Um, maybe three.
Maybe three.
Three. So three of them have actually been given to us. People said, "Hey, this doll has given me troubles, and I think you guys need to have this." So the rest of them, I mean, I'm not saying that they might have something, they might, I don't know, but I know for like that were donated to us, three of them were supposed to be haunted.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Now there's a little Halloween decoration in the doll
Yeah.
room.
Mhm.
Is now possessed by the devil. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, she is though. She's really creepy.
If you go check out Wildwood Sanitarium Restoration Project or going to Remotely Paranormal or Breeze TikTok or YouTube, you're going to see a video.
Mhm.
And this was Bree and a couple colleagues at Wildwood
Mhm.
in the doll room. Now, this video is so amazing. Shortly after she released it, people were reposting it saying it was fake.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not going to go in much detail about the video. I want you guys to go check it out for yourself. I know Brooke knows what video I'm talking about.
Yeah, so I actually watched it happen live and I'm like, holy crap, this is really happening right now. And I started screen recording it and I'm like, what the heck is going on? I couldn't believe that. I thought it was like the coolest thing. Like, we've gotten tons of stuff with that doll over the years, but nothing like that. So I thought it was so cool.
It was
But from
pretty
the
intense.
comments here in our from the comments here on our YouTube, apparently the dial room is craziest place in the entire sanitarium. So
Huh.
Oh, everybody's commenting about the doll
a lot
room.
of people are commenting on the dial room, especially Bree.
I'm sure she just I like her face and stuff. Like that's how I knew. I'm like, if someone was watching this and saw her reaction and her face and stuff, you could tell she was experiencing that. I mean, and everyone in the room was too. You could just tell.
Right. You know, you can always have that A plus quality, piece of evidence. There's always going to be some type of asshole or somebody that's a naysayer and say it's fake.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'm guessing I know this answer, but how bad and defensive do you get when somebody says something like that or says something about Wildwood?
Um. So you want to know my answer like internally or what actually comes out?
I want to
'Cause
know what the real answer would be, Brooke.
yeah, so internally, I mean, Wildwood is like a baby to me. That's how we see it. Wildwood is like literally a family member to us, and that's how we treat it. It's, part of the family. It always will be. So obviously, I get really, really upset and angry when people say bad things. It doesn't happen too often, thank God. But when it does, I'm like, oh my God, it just makes me so mad. But I always handle things like people are going to have their own opinions. They're entitled to their own opinions. So, I mean, people are going to believe what they want to. So,
So, if some of these content creators comes to Wildwood,
mhm.
puts out this outlandish bullshit video about
Yeah.
Wildwood, what are you gonna do?
I was attacked by demons in the doll room.
Yeah. So so this is a thing. I spoke to Dan about this and stuff not that long ago. Um, when YouTubers and content creators, and I was telling Brie about this too, when they come, I threaten them and I tell them, look, Wildwood is a good place. Wildwood has healing spirits. Wildwood does not have anything that is going to make you run out of a room, that's going to follow you home, attack you. There's no demons. Like, don't do that. And it's worked pretty good so far. So I don't know, but it's just, I mean, they're obviously trying to get views and stuff, which I respect that. I mean, they're trying to build their own thing and everything, but definitely like, trying to make everything sound equal and that you were attacked and stuff, I don't think is really right.
What if a certain production company calls
Mhm.
you up and says, Brooke, we want to come to your place and film for 4 days. We'll pay you 5 grand.
Mhm.
But bottom of your heart, shouldn't do it because it's going to come out a certain way.
Yeah.
But financially, hey, pretty good money for 4 days. What do you do?
I guess it would be just depending on who it is and really what it is. Because I will say I actually not that long ago shut down a TV show that was trying to get into Wildwood that I said it's just not gonna happen because obviously like this other person that was involved with all that, we highly respect him. We're friends with him and everything. So having this other TV show would jeopardize that, and I'm not willing to do that. Um, so I mean, it just depends on the situation because obviously, when you're a restoration project, I mean, $5,000, that's a lot of money. I mean, that's, fixing up a room and completely re-drywalling it or something like that. So I mean, if it's not going to be too bad and jeopardize the house and everything, maybe it just depends.
But I'm pushing it. I'm pushing it, Brooke. I'm putting you on the spot.
That's okay.
But what if, I mean, again, this gets you millions and millions of views. But again, the title is The Demonic Doll Attacked Me and I, blah, 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 fucked up from it.
Yeah. I mean, if they're getting $5,000 towards the restoration project and millions of views and stuff, I probably would do it because eventually, I mean, it's gonna better the house. So if that one person has to say something stupid to get, 20 or 30 bookings, which obviously would completely change the game for Wildwood and, make sure that we can fix some stuff that we need to fix and everything. I mean, I would probably do it.
At a
So,
girl.
yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Because, and I'm going to state this because, you get it. The state of the paranormal is everybody's at each other's throats,
Oh, yeah.
and one slip up from somebody, 50 people are attacking you and vice versa, and blah, blah, blah.
Hmm.
Now, and there are owners that like, look, we're not going to do that. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Okay. I respect you. Respect you for not doing it. But I
Of course. Yeah.
also respect you for giving an honest answer because it's a business.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, your goal is to push Wildwood out as far as you can to as
Oh,
many
yeah.
people as you can to get as many people in the door to help with the restoration of getting this building, close to back to what it was.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, here's the other thing, people, and you need to understand this. And I like this because we had Bill Walter on about a
Hmm.
month ago from Broadhead, and it was
Yeah.
He's
excellent
actually
because
watching our stream right now.
Oh, awesome. Hey.
it is a different perspective from people that actually own locations.
Hmm.
It's easy for everybody to sit back at these location owners and be like, point the finger. Well, you should be doing this. You should be doing that. You should be doing this. Why aren't you doing that?
Yeah.
Well, we raised $5,000 from you. Why is it, why isn't this and this and this and this done?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, there, there you have your mortgage for your business, you have
Hmm.
utilities for your business, you have all your insurances from your business, all the amenities, toilet paper, blah blah blah. Everything adds up.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And on top of that, Yes, it's a restoration project.
Mhm.
Majority of the money goes back to Wildwood. But
Oh
then
yeah.
again, but then again, Brooke is running a business. Brooke has
Mhm.
a family. Brooke has young children. Brooke should be making money off of this.
Yeah.
Bottom line, you
Yeah,
know.
no, I get that. I struggle with that too because people will tell me that all the time. I actually just picked up another job just for our family too because I just it's hard because I want everything to go into Wildwood. That's the whole goal and everything. I mean, people don't realize how much work it truly is. You're constantly networking, making connections, and then there's getting down to the fact of actually doing the work at the house. I mean, we're at Wildwood like every day,
Yeah.
cleaning and doing stuff, and then winter comes and your hot water tank, explodes on the basement floor. That happened to us a couple years ago, and
Yeah.
then that's a immediate fix that obviously has to happen right then, and we weren't expecting that cost, things like that. So,
Yeah. I
Bill
mean,
Walter
well,
says hi, Brooke.
who does?
oh, hi.
Bill Walter.
Oh,
Yeah.
what's up, Dad?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look at Stephanie and McIntyre Villa out in Kansas.
Yeah.
She's got a very old mansion, and it still runs off boiler system, and the boiler went out. You know,
Yeah.
and the community came together to help her out because that stuff, she paid was like $10,000-$12,000 to replace
Yeah.
this boiler,
Hmm.
and the same situation could arise at Wildwood and stuff like that. I'm just really tired of people attacking um location owners.
Yeah. No, that's
Brooke.
completely understandable.
Bill
I
Bill
will
Walters.
say, oh,
Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say. Bill said, "I commend you as an owner, sticking to your guns and defending your location."
Yeah, thank you. It's well, like I said, it's like someone coming after your baby. You're devoting your whole life to this, and someone tries to say something. And like I said, thank God it really doesn't happen. We've been really lucky. We have a lot of really good people that come to Wildwood, and a lot of the groups are really great. So we've been pretty lucky. But something I will say too, like you were talking about Stephanie, and something as a location owner too that I do is I donate a ton of money. So like Stephanie, we donated money to that. Like I did a paranormal investigation giveaway for a private overnight for that and stuff too, because I think that's really important, like location owners or people that represent locations sticking together too, because they really know what position you're in and how you feel and everything too.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of whatever condition a property is when you purchase it, even if it's like,
Mhm.
an old asylum that's been, run down, there's still a lot of cost that goes involved just to keep it to look like it's run down.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
There's so much that's involved and Brooke's right. Owning a location, she's working 24/7.
Oh, yeah.
24/7. There's no time off, from booking appointments to all the social media to the websites to constantly networking, setting this up, setting that up, you know, to having to go to the location to let people
Yeah.
in, to do
Yep.
tours, come back in the morning, make sure they didn't trash your fucking place, and
Yeah.
it's on top of that, you know, raising a young family.
Mhm. Oh, yeah. I definitely, so this is something that Wildwood's been lacking for a little while is a good, solid team of people. We've always, I mean, I'm like that, and my parents are like that. We always are, oh, I have to do it myself kind of people and not ask for help. I've always been that way. But that we've started reaching out and we have a really good solid group that is starting to help us open and do stuff like that so we can go other places and other locations, conventions, stuff like that. That's helped a ton. We have like a new and it's so funny, like meeting these people, one of our head, she's kind of like the property manager at this point, our manager, she does a lot of stuff for us. I met her on a like ghost hunt, so it's funny how it comes back to you. And now her sister's involved. And I mean, Bree, like, look at how I met Bree. Jeff Fent introduced us at MadCon, and he's like, Bree, you gotta meet her and talk to her and stuff. And, and here we are, we're like best friends. We call every day and, bouncing back and forth ideas about Wildwood. And so it is really important as a location owner to have a good, solid team that you can rely on, because I mean, really, we all play our parts and all keep it going.
Well, another thing is you have um, a very well known figure that owns a very popular haunted location rather close to you.
Yeah. Yep.
So, talk about how Daniel Class helps you.
So, Mr. Daniel, actually, so when we when we first started ghost hunting, we started ghost hunting with two teams, and his is one of them. So we always used to go to his public ghost hunts, and that's how we met him. And his team psychic at the time was actually one of the people that made me realize, like, hey, you have abilities and you need to use them. So that's how we kind of started. So I've known him for more than like half of my life. And then he bought Hinsdale, and when he bought Hinsdale, we would go to all his volunteer days, and we were helping, open it up for groups, and getting the house ready for him to be able to do that. And that's actually where we met the owner of Sweet Home Estates, and so we've been friends with him for just as long. Um, so Dan, when my mom first bought the location, I mean, she didn't know what she was doing. She never owned a business. She didn't know that kind of stuff. So Dan actually was doing all the bookings. He created our website. And he still helps out a ton. I mean, I'm forever grateful for him. He's an awesome guy.
Talk about a location owner having fumes coming out of his ears right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, and I don't know if you're aware of the situation, Sean, that Dan had dropped on his plate at the end of last week.
Yeah. I know about it.
Do you, Sean?
Which Dan are we talking about here?
Hinsdale.
The owner of Hinsdale, yeah.
Okay, okay. No, I don't think I do.
Okay, so you know how Nick Groff has such a personal connection to Hinsdale.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Him and Daniel are friends. Daniel's involved with Deathwalker. Everything's interweb. Okay.
Yeah.
Nick has been working on something with Hinsdale for about a decade.
Hmm.
Okay. Him and Tess beginning of last week, or maybe the end of the week before, dropped that what they've been working on research wise and everything, their project is going to be dropping soon. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Project Fear had went to Hinsdale and filmed. Some of
So,
the information that Groff was holding on to drop in this video, some of it was told to Project Fear, but they were told they couldn't use it in their episode. And what did they do? They dropped part 2 and dropped that shit all over YouTube, social media, you name it.
ouch.
After Daniel specifically asked them not to do it.
Right.
I think that's the story. Brooke, you might know more about it. It's again, as a location owner, and one of the people is your very dear friend, being Nick Groff. Fuck.
Yeah.
You know, did I get the story right, or am I missing something in it?
I believe so. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not exactly. I don't stay up to things. I've been seeing some of the posts and stuff, and I mean, I've seen Dan handle it with nothing but grace. I mean, he's really been doing a really good job at it and not trying to get like, too upset and, post about things and everything because that never leads to anything good for anyone. But I have seen a little bit of it, yeah.
Well, I mean, has Nick been back to Wildwood since?
Paranormal Lockdown?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we actually filmed an episode of Deathwalker at
Okay.
Wildwood for this new season, and it'll be coming out soon.
Sweet. Sweet.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know when that's coming out. I anticipate it. I was cool. I was excited when they dropped the trailer for the Bell one.
Yeah.
And I kind of joked because I shared it. And I was like, maybe you'll see me in it. I don't know.
That's funny. Yeah, I
But
mean, Zach is in like 20 episodes or something crazy, so you'll see Zach everywhere. Because he's tall and skinny, he makes the perfect shadow figure. So they just threw him in
oh,
everywhere. Yeah.
did he do some role playing or B roll for him?
Yeah, he did tons of stuff with them. I'm in a few of the new episodes, but I've been in a few of the older ones too. And my kids have too. Anytime they need a little kid, they throw them in there too. So
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
yeah, so like the Iron Island episode, the whole episode it shows reenactments, and it's Zach and my son Eli. So they're in like the whole episode. It's really cool.
That's awesome. I did not know that. That is cool shit.
That's neat.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, Buffalo and Niagara Falls is what, hour and a half away from you guys?
Yeah. Yep.
So you got Niagara Falls and Buffalo, then I'm gonna say it's Salamanca.
That's okay.
I'm just gonna keep it that way because
Okay.
I'm an idiot. Then you have Hinsdale, so you have all you guys right there in the vicinity. So I mean, that's cool that you guys all work together and even B-roll stuff, and that's
Oh
awesome.
yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean I love working with other location owners and doing all that kind of stuff. Like like something like we're obviously super close to Hinsdale, so if you book a night at Hinsdale, like Wildwood pops up as an add-on, so you can book them at the same time and vice versa.
Oh, I
So
didn't
that's
know that.
like something little we do to cross promote both locations, and we've done tons of stuff over the years. I mean, obviously Dan got Paranormal Lockdown into Wildwood. Paranormal Lockdown was actually the first people to ever investigate at Wildwood, so it was really cool to we just opened this location a month ago and here's Paranormal Lockdown.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. I you hear about Wildwood and you hear about it and you hear about it. I just assumed it'd been around longer than that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, it'll be 7 years July 4th.
Wow. So that's still kind of a baby.
Yeah, yep.
Expensive baby.
It is a very expensive baby, yeah. And obviously, like with me taking ownership and stuff, all so the whole dynamic changed again. And we're still all figuring everything out. And I mean it's such a cool experience though. I would never trade it for the world, but it is very hectic. I don't think it's for everyone. But I would not trade it for the world. I seriously love it. I like my favorite part is meeting the people. And people always ask me that, like I'll do these podcasts and stuff. They'll ask, what's your favorite part of owning a location? And it's the people. I mean, I love opening up for groups. Oh, this is my fifth time here, and I want to show you what I got last time. And I love that stuff.
Right.
So
Well, it's cool when you hear about Wildwood and you hear about the mystique of the location, and it's becoming
mhm.
an iconic location, which is great.
Yeah.
That means
Mhm.
longevity for Wildwood.
Yeah.
But when people walk in that door and they're finally like, because I made it to Wildwood, and they walk in that door and you greet them and they're like just staring and taking it all in, and then you take them on the tour and they're just like,
Yeah.
you know, and it's cool. I mean, it
It
makes you feel
is.
good because, obviously we had the opportunity for so long to do something like that,
Mhm.
and it was crazy because I long for that again. That's why I'm
Yeah.
pushing so hard to buy a new location because
Mhm.
it's hard to explain. That's why I'm like kind of fumbling over my words. I mean, I think you
No,
would agree.
I totally get it. Yeah. It's a really good feeling. And like for me too, like I love that Wildwood has given me opportunities to do stuff for the community that I would have never been able to do. I mean, 2 years ago, we spent almost $2,000 on presents for 5 families for Christmas. Okay. I would have never been able to do that if it wasn't for Wildwood. And that like it made me so happy that I had the opportunity to do that. And it really does bring you such cool opportunities. You get to meet all these people, but then you also get to see the location and how you get to progress it. I mean, Wildwood has changed so much over the years. I mean, when we first bought it, people shouldn't have been living there, and it was really bad, and everyone said we were insane for it. And I mean, look at it now. You can spend the night, you can take a hot shower. It's got a roof, you know? So
It's got a
it's
root.
so cool to
Minor
see.
details. Minor
Yeah,
details.
I mean, it's got a roof. So it's so cool to see the progress.
Right. I mean, in a nutshell, where do you want to see Wildwood in 10 years?
So in the next 10 years, I would really love for like most of the restoration work to be done. And I think we're like projecting to do that really well. We already have tons of stuff planned for just this summer. We've done a little bit over the winter. So I'm really like hoping within 10 years, Wildwood is just at the point where we have to maintain it and not be fixing water damage and doing all that kind of stuff. That's really the goal.
Well, I'd be apt to come for an extended weekend and I'll bring all my tools up
Oh,
and
yeah.
work during the day and ghost hunt at night.
Sounds good to me. I mean, I tell everyone I love a good trade, so I tell everyone that.
I'll make sure I bring my sledgehammer to knock down some walls.
All right, sounds good. We just can't tell
You
Lori,
better
okay?
you better be careful because you remember that show Home Improvement?
Oh yeah,
Nick is like Tim Allen, so
yeah. Oh my God, that's funny.
But he has a lot of cool tools, man. That's why he's
Yeah,
Tool Man.
that's
yeah,
funny.
you're just a tool.
So, Brooke, let's talk about 2024. A
Okay.
lot of things cooking for 2024.
Yeah.
Um, I know Bree and I and you and Zach have things that we're going to be working on this year.
Yeah.
Um, but the convention circuit,
Mhm.
how many conventions you think you're going to be attending this year?
So I always tell myself every year, oh, I'm gonna cut back. I'm gonna cut back. And then you look at the calendar and you have it all full and you're like, oh no. Um, but I mean, it starts. So actually, in a couple weeks, we'll be at the Women's Paranormal Convention, where all the money is being donated to towards domestic violence charities and
Mhm.
all that. So it's con season kind of starts for us at the end of the month, because then we'll have the con with Bump in the Night
Mhm.
Society for cancer research and all that. Adam Kimmel's events were always, I'm gonna try to make all three this year. I really want to, but we'll always be at FBICon and MadCon no matter what. Um MadCon was actually like our first real convention, so that one, I mean, it holds a special place in our hearts. And then we'll hopefully be at some other ones too. I'm trying, instead of doing a lot of conventions this year, I'm trying to get out to locations more and actually be able to investigate other locations. So I have scaled it back a little bit.
Are you sure?
A little. a little.
Well, maybe just crossed one off.
Yeah, just like one or two. Yeah.
So as the year goes through, there's conventions, there's paranormal investigating, which I think you should. And then when you go there, make sure you meet the owners and be like,
Yeah.
hey, do you have pamphlets? I have pamphlets. And
Hmm.
I leave pamphlets here, you know,
Yeah. Yeah,
which I,
oh yeah, we've done stuff like that.
and I think most location owners should do this.
Mhm.
If you don't, you're a douchebag.
Yeah.
You should help promote
Oh
other
yeah.
other locations. That's just my thought. I don't know.
Well, like tons of groups will ask me, what's your opinion? What's your other location that you love? Or, oh, do you have any other suggestions? And I throw them all out there. I'm like, oh, you got to go to this one and this one. And, oh, I haven't been to this one, but I really want to go. You should go. And, I'm constantly promoting other people.
Yeah, it's just it's good for the paranormal community, to be honest with
Oh, yeah.
you know. But in May you're gonna have something special coming up, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited. I have never investigated a school, so I'm like so excited.
Oh, you've never done a school?
No, no, I
Okay.
haven't.
Okay. So what's this event you're gonna be having in May?
So, it's May 25th, right? I'm horrible with
Well, how would
dates.
I know? I don't
Oh,
know.
I don't know.
No, I'm
I think
just
it's
kidding.
May 25th. Yeah. So me and Bree, Paranormal Road Tripping with Bree, we're gonna have a public investigation at Olive Hill High School. And I cannot wait because there's gonna be dance parties. We're gonna dance in that gym and we're gonna see what we can, have happen. And I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Obviously, this is the event that we originally had scheduled for January, but the other, the co-host to this event, she ended up backing out, and
Mhm.
then asked me a few weeks later if I'm still going to do the event. And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
no, I'm not. So I told Bree, because
Mhm.
I still had the deposit down for this event, and I told Blue Collar to hold it because we'll
Yeah.
come up with a different event. And I told Bree, I said, you pick who you want to be the other star or host or however you want to call that thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
And she was like, she's like, no brainer. I want Brooke there. So,
Yeah.
but all right over there, buddy.
I don't know,
Yeah.
is he?
But no, I think it's gonna be an amazing event. And I talked about this a couple years ago. I got a picture on my wall, and I took this picture, and I was like, three up and coming women in the paranormal, and it was Jen from Bump of the Night, it's Savannah, Kalani Savannah, and my daughter
Yeah.
Gabby. Um,
Aw.
and to me, I think within next 5, 6, 7 years, the
Mhm.
majority of the stars, the majority of the big people in the paranormal are going to be women.
Yeah.
Because believe it or not, the paranormal field is driven majority of it by women.
Oh yeah.
You from now location owners to now you're seeing them being quote unquote stars on streaming networks or this or that to
Yep.
the majority of the people that walk through the doors for these paracons
Yep.
events are women.
Yeah.
So this is a perfect event to highlight two women that are rising fast in the paranormal. You guys
Mhm.
are badasses. And
Oh, thanks.
I think you guys are going to go into this event. I think you guys are going to crush it. I think you guys
Mhm.
are going to have a ton of activity. And I think everybody that comes is going to be an amazing time. I
Oh
think you
yeah.
guys are going to show something a lot different than your prototypical paranormal event.
Oh yeah. It'll definitely be different than like, oh, okay, you bought a ticket, welcome, now sit on the floor, you sit there, you know, ask, are you a boy or a girl, like stuff like that. It's gonna be completely different. I mean, we both Bree and I enjoy shaking things up a little bit. You know, treat the spirits like people. I mean, they were
Right.
people at one point, and that's how you should investigate. And I'm not knocking anyone's, you know, routine or anything like that, of course, but I mean,
Right.
that's just something that I've always liked to do is ask them, you know, questions that really would resonate with them.
Right. Well, I mean, you go to your prototypical event, it's like, okay, you get 30 minutes Q&A, you get 30 minutes
Yeah.
to take pictures, uh 30 minutes with this person, then you switch, 30 minutes with that person, you switch, blah blah blah, and then the night's over and it's midnight.
Yeah.
This is different, people. This is an event where literally it is 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. 12
Yeah.
hours. So if you want to investigate till 7 a.m. till we kick you the fuck out, you can. Well, this isn't where it's 8 to midnight, and
Mhm.
you're cramming all this stuff into 4 hours. You guys are going to hang out with Brooke. You're going to hang out with Bree. You're going to fucking party,
Yeah.
and I,
But
I know
we're gonna party respectfully and have
oh,
fun.
yes,
Well,
yes.
yeah, not too crazy, but we're
No,
gonna
we're
have
not.
fun and well, yeah, and treat them like people and be super interactive and it'll be a lighter feeling, you know what I mean?
Well,
Bree
I'm not
said
saying,
Cupid Shuffle.
yes, the
Yeah.
Cupid Shuffle will definitely
Cupid,
happen.
yeah, the Cupid shuffle definitely has to happen.
So before you hopped on here, Bree was up here, and I said to her, I said, give me something about Brooke that I can catch her off guard.
Oh geez.
She's like, I can't tell you anything. We're besties, and she
We're
confides.
besties.
And
Aw.
I'm like, come on, man, just give me something. And
Aw.
she goes, okay. When we were having the dance party, she said Brooke said that she forgot how to do the Cupid shuffle all the way, so she was in the background.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, I don't really know what's going on. Well, and she caught me off guard with that. I'm like, oh, we're like dancing? Okay. And I was in my furry slippers and stuff, and I didn't expect to be on her live at all or anything. I'm like, okay, we're here now. So yeah.
What was your now be honest, what was your first thought when Bree says we're gonna put on music and we're gonna start dancing?
I thought it was awesome. I
Yeah.
thought, definitely something different to try to get some energy up and see how the spirits react. I mean, the spirits at Wildwood love music. So I mean, I figured they would, probably like something like that. When when we used to have this guy work on the house, he used to play Johnny Cash records on the record player on the third floor, and they loved that. They absolutely loved it.
So you're a huge favor of, you know, out of the box thinking, doing something different, raising the vibrations of the
Oh
location.
yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because I mean, when it first started at Hinsdale,
Mhm.
she came home and I was like, I was watching her live and I
Yeah.
said, this is a great idea.
Mhm.
Get some music on, start dancing, this or that. But she started getting a lot of slack from people
Yeah.
because she was just playing random music instead of like, well,
Yeah.
because I was in the chat and they were like, well, she should be playing more time period music. And I
Oh,
replied and
okay.
I said, well, what time period?
Yeah.
What are you referring to? You don't even know what's in the
Mhm.
room and what time period these people are. Are you talking the 70s?
Yeah.
Are you talking the 1800s? You know, music is music. you know?
Yeah, and they say kind of music is like a general language too that some like every person can kind of enjoy too. So I mean, I don't I mean I've done that where using like, oh, I know, this place has a lot of deaths happen in the 50s or something, and a lot of the spirits say they're from the 50s or whatever, so let's play like that kind of music.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done that before, but there's nothing wrong with trying something new too. I mean,
Right.
really the whole paranormal field is really just a huge experiment. I mean, none of us really know what the heck is happening. So anything to try something new, I don't think hurts.
And Bill Walter makes a good point here too. He said it's the vibrations the music gives off, gives the spirits energy. He said all
Yeah,
time periods work. It has nothing to do with the genre of music or
yeah,
time period of
exactly.
music.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, me personally, I am a huge advocate of you want a good paranormal interaction, you need to raise the vibration.
Mm-hmm.
If you want the shitty negative reaction, you need to lower the vibration
Yeah,
because
true.
the negative things they work on, lower vibrations. So,
Yeah. I'll tell you something funny. So at Wildwood, one of their favorite songs is actually a song that no one would think would be their favorite song. See, it's that song, it's Africa by Toto. They love that song. They love it. I don't know why, but
So do I. It's a great song.
I've told people over the years, like groups about it and stuff, and they're like, "You were right. Like we played that song, and then we had crazy stuff happen." And I'm like, "I told you they love it."
Try a little good vibrations by the Beach Boys.
Yeah, they'd like that too.
yeah, it's possible. So, if I ask you, what is your one go to piece of evidence that you've either captured or you saw from Wildwood?
From Wildwood,
Mm-hmm.
um, EVPs. So John Griffin has gotten some crazy EVPs at Wildwood. And even some that like aren't even serious that really doesn't make sense in the context, but then it like kind of made sense afterwards. Like they got this one and we all joke about it all the time. They got an EVP, I believe it was a girl, and it said muffins in like a high like muffins. And I just think that's so funny, like that they tapped into that conversation or something someone was talking about at one point and they got that. Like I always think that's really cool. Wildwood is huge with EVPs. People get tons of EVPs at Wildwood all the time. I've heard like people capture clear as day heavy footsteps on the stairs. I that is really wild to me. Another one too. So when I was in the hospital giving birth to my son, and his name is Elias, so it's Elias.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we actually had a group at Wildwood, so my mom was there, opening for this group and stuff, and they told us the next day, they're like, Brooke, in the basement, they kept saying your name. And then on their Ovilus, Elias came across and it was spelled right and everything. I mean, I
Oh,
still think
wow.
that's absolutely insane. They do say my name a lot. They do talk about me a lot. And I think it's really funny too. Something that we always joke about is it seems to always be in the basement too. I don't know why they talk about me a lot in the basement. Before I even owned Wildwood and everything, a group got an EVP, like they were doing EVPs and they had the spirit box going and stuff. And they asked like, who's the boss here? Thinking that it'd be a doctor or something. And the spirit said Brooke. And I'm like, what? It was so funny when they told me that and I saw them write that in the book and stuff. I thought that was so funny. And I
Well,
mean, they've talked about my whole family though too, like my dad, and they'll mention him sometimes. And I always think that's so cool.
So I want to get into the Paracon at the end of the
Yeah.
year, but before this, we haven't talked much about him.
Mhm.
But your other half, your better half, right? The better half.
My better half.
So let's talk about Zach a little bit. So how did he? How, I mean, I've been on dates before, and I've had to bring it up, like, hey, I got to bring this up. I'm a paranormal investigator. You're like you're waiting for the fucked up response.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was Zach previously into the paranormal before meeting you?
So I actually met Zach at Wildwood, but not for ghost hunting purposes. So Zach's brother and my sister were dating at the time. That's how I met Zach. And my sister was really good friends with him. So she brought him to Wildwood for a public ghost hunt, just to introduce like everyone and, you know, the weird, awkward stage of when you first start dating and meet families and stuff. So that's how I met Zach. And I just think it's just funny because the cheesy thing of like, oh, I saw her and I knew we were gonna date or whatever. That really happened to both of us. And but we didn't talk about it until like a year after we got together, that we both had that weird feeling that we were at least going to be friends at some point.
Mhm.
So I didn't have to have the weird awkward conversation, I guess.
Fair enough. Now, is
Yeah.
your sister and his brother, are they still together?
No, no.
No. So they didn't
No.
work out, but you and Zach worked.
Yeah, and we got together like way after they broke up. Well, a year or so after they broke up, because my sister was still really good friends with Zach. So
Gotcha, gotcha. How many siblings do
Mhm.
you have?
I have three.
Three siblings. Do they have any? Did they have any interest in Wildwood, or was it just you? Or
So my brother has actually done a lot of repairs at Wildwood. And he's actually, I'm hoping he's got a new job, so he's like crazy busy right now. But he's kind of one of those jack of all trades. Like you say, hey, like, can you fix this? And he's like, well, I might not know, but I'll figure it out and I'll do it. So he's one of those. But I'm hoping he talked about doing the bathroom up on the third floor, and he wants to completely do tile in there and everything, and he wants to do that. So he likes it for that aspect, not anything to do with ghosts or any of that. And then my sister likes doing so my youngest sister, that's 16 years older than me, she likes to do like,
wait,
oh,
what? How
promoting.
old? How old? How much older are your brothers and sisters?
So my youngest sister is 16 years older than me, and my brother is 20 years older than me. And then there's a sibling in the middle too.
So you were like a oops.
Yeah, I was the oops.
You
I
were the
was
oops.
the my mom thought she was going through menopause, but it was not menopause. So that's what I was.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I was the big oops. My mom was like 42, I think, when she had me.
Oh wow, wow. Well, I mean, you're
Yeah.
here for a reason.
Yeah. I mean, she says that she'd be bored if I wasn't around because I keep her on her toes. So, I mean, there's that.
Well, that's
But
cool.
yeah, so my other sister, like, she likes doing like, oh, making the waivers and doing little stuff like that. And she goes through a lot of the ghost hunts. She likes helping out with that stuff. My other sister doesn't have a ton to do with it, but she did just have a baby, so she lives like on the other side of Erie, so she's a little far away.
Gotcha. Well, that's cool that most of them have like their little gift or little part to
Yeah.
it. So that's amazing. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we definitely all play our little parts. And my dad, like, he does all of the outside stuff. So Wildwood will look absolutely beautiful during the summer. I mean, we have all the really pretty flowers, and the grass is always mowed and everything. That's Dad's part. That's what he loved to do. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. So coming up here towards the end of the year, I know you had this last year, the
yep,
Hope Paracon.
yep,
Um, last year was in September,
yes,
correct? Yeah.
yes,
This year will be in October, correct?
yes.
What? Let's let everybody know what the Hope Paracon is.
So There is Hope convention is something so this will be the third year. We started this 2 years ago, and it was for a family that investigated at Wildwood all the time. And John Griffin's brother unfortunately passed away. Very tragic, stuff. So after that, in his honor and to help his family, heal and all that, we started There Is Hope Paracon, which all the money is donated to suicide prevention, suicide awareness, that kind of thing. So it really stemmed from that. And we in the seance room, we have a little dedication for him and his family. They're all really super important to us. And also my mom's brother, obviously. So it's got a few little things behind it. And
Right.
it's just kind of developed into a good time where people can come together for a really good cause and see each other, once a year and, celebrate Wildwood too and bring people to the community and also like introduce the community to like, hey, we're not all about ghost hunting and stuff, we do other things and,
Right.
kind of get them introduced to us too.
I've been to a lot of Paracons. Um, I thoroughly enjoyed last year. You know,
Yeah.
I was like instantly. I remember walking in and talking to you, and you were like, "I just don't understand. Like some people have backed out because of certain reasons,
Yeah.
and then COVID was coming back around, and
Mhm.
I'm just sitting there in the corner, and I'm like, my brain instantly is like, what can I do? I don't know to help for next year, and then obviously,
Yeah.
Bree and came along, and now you guys become friends, and you know we'll do anything and everything to help you with the
Yeah.
Paracon, and I hope it gets bigger and more successful because
Yeah.
that cause it's an important cause.
Oh, definitely. I've met so many people, like I'll talk about at conventions and stuff like other events and they'll come up to me and they'll be like, I really like support what you're doing because this, people don't talk about it. It's something people want to talk about. It's a really hard topic for a lot of people, which I mean, obviously rightfully so. But it's good to bring it to light and mental health is super important, especially in the paranormal field because you're going into these locations and if you're around dark stuff all the time, I mean, it can obviously affect your mental health. And so I think it is a really important thing for the paranormal community to, stand for and be a part of.
Right. Did you guys pick a date? I know it was October 12th.
Yes, it's going to be October 12th.
I look forward to it. I look forward to it. It's gonna be so much fun. Um, I don't know. I think I might book us the Airbnb I stayed in last year there. It's right there on the
Oh, yeah.
main strip. Um, family was super cool. I remember sitting up there in my room because I went by myself and I'm just laying in the room. And I was like, well, fuck it. I have all this equipment here. So I like, I have equipment everywhere in this
Oh,
house.
that's funny.
So, but it's a cool little town. They do have a massive casino. I did not know that till I got there. I was like, hmm,
Yeah. Yeah.
do I go donate money?
In
So, penny slots
the
and free drinks.
yeah. And the location the convention's at is like super awesome too. I mean, it's huge and it's set up so nice for a convention and it is a really good time. And I mean, we already have so many vendors that want to come. We have our first sponsor already. So I'll be
Nice.
announcing her pretty soon. And I loved she messaged me and she's like, "Oh yeah, I sell witchy crap." And I love that. So, and her stuff is really cool too. So we'll be announcing her soon. And we'll have all kinds of, you'll have a lot of familiar special guests too. I mean, this year we're really focusing on like the up and coming, faces that you're really starting to see around and
Right.
kind of highlighting the little guy.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, it needs to be done. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. I get annoyed seeing, walking into these big paracons and and this guy's on this poster and he's like, I've been 28 days haunted. And this is the only thing I've done, but oh my God, there's I'm like, my first thing is I walk up to him and I'm like, your show really sucked.
No, jeez.
But well, Brooke, I don't have a filter. I can't help it.
Yeah, that's okay. I never really watched 28 Days Haunted all the way through, but I will say when it first came out, my son was obsessed with it. He
Really?
loved it. Yeah. I mean, he was 5 at the time. He's 6 now, so he loved it. He thought it was the coolest thing, and he still watches it sometimes, which I just think is really funny. But
Well, I get the opportunity of hang out with Sean Austin quite often and investigate with him, and obviously he was in it. And
yeah.
we're sitting at a Mexican restaurant. We're just chit chatting. We're eating Mexican, and conversation kind of dies out. And all of a sudden, just blurt out, I'm like, "Hey, you know what, buddy?" And he's like, "Yeah, what's up?" I was like, "Man, 28 Days Haunted really sucked."
Oh God.
He goes, "I know."
Oh my God, that's funny.
Sean, do you have anything from YouTube before we get to the question part?
Um, it's kind of become a chat amongst everybody in the chat.
Oh, okay.
uh,
Oh,
yeah, Bree, she knows everybody. So, um, let's see. Bill Walters said Nick and Bree found out the energy in my building when we pumped up the jams.
oh, that's
uh,
awesome.
Bree
I mean,
heard
he ain't
footsteps
joking.
in the
Like he's got a
basement.
sound system. Like you're
Cody
at
Oh,
a
Sharp
that's
says, "What's up?"
who did?
Cody Sharp.
Oh, okay.
oh yeah.
Uh, Bree says she's so excited for the Hope Paracon and what it supports. So yeah, that's about it so far.
All right. Well, Brooke, you ready for your 3 questions?
The
Oh,
three
am I?
questions of doom, doom,
Oh
doom.
no.
All right. First question. Tell all our listeners in what now 41 countries or is it still 40?
I don't know. I'll have to go
Okay.
and look.
In all 40 countries across the globe, tell everybody a weird or interesting fact that most people don't know about
Hmm. I don't know. Um, how about this? Okay, I have a good one. So, growing up, obviously we're in a small town and stuff. So, growing up, my hobby was like 4-H and everything. So, I showed chickens, and that's what I did growing up. So like I can tell you like all kinds of facts about chickens, like parts of chickens. I still remember a little bit of it, but not a ton. So that's kind of weird. I mean, not everyone can say that.
Between Nick and I right now, we're trying to figure out which cock joke to tell, and I just can't come up with one.
Oh yeah, I could tell. No, I could tell.
you. 100%. 100%.
Yeah. No, I was 100% like farmer's daughter. I was the president of the FFA and 4-H and all that. So yeah.
I
This
was gonna
just
make
in:
a
Bill
dirty
Walter
joke.
has an OnlyFans.
Yes, that's facts. That is fact.
That's
Um,
funny.
I was gonna make a dirty joke, but I don't want Zach to beat me up, so we'll move on.
Okay.
Um, so all of us paranormal investigators are quirky about our dinner before investigating and our snacks while investigating and energy drinks or whatnot. Um, tell us what is your go-to snacks or beverages during your investigation?
My guilty pleasure is Red Mountain Dew. I don't know what it is. It's the only flavor of Mountain Dew that I really will drink or anything, and it's usually only while like ghost hunting or doing something. I don't know what it is. And then like I'm weird about it too. Like when we go to conventions and stuff, I don't want to afterwards. I don't want to go to like a chain restaurant. I want to go to like a mom and pop, something local that we can't get where we are. I'm like super weird about that. I don't know.
Well, that's cool. I mean, then you're also giving back to that community.
Yeah, yeah, true.
So instead of the local McDonald's that don't
Yeah.
need it. But all right, here we go. Last question.
Okay.
Now, you're not at Wildwood, okay?
Okay.
You're going somewhere. One night,
Okay.
one investigation. You are only allowed to take 3 pieces of equipment. What do you take?
Okay. What am I taking? So obviously, number one would be Lauren's Crystal Pod. We have two of them, and I absolutely love them. And like that's something if that thing goes off, something's really happening. Like I mean, and
I can
then
attest to
I
that.
guess, yeah, I love her stuff. And I guess a spirit box, but it would have to be like a Jeff Fent spirit box, not like I hate the spirit boxes that make the static noise and stuff. I can't stand it. No, not knocking it at all. I'm, it's still great piece of equipment, but our spirit box, so the Wildwood spirit box, and I don't know, probably like dowsing rods or something like that. Something older school. I love the older school stuff, so probably something like that.
Well, I will say this, 2 things. Not
Mhm.
everybody can afford a Jeff Fent box.
Oh no, I know.
They're very expensive, but they are worth it.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody builds anything better than Jeff Fent boxes.
No.
Number 2, you can email Brooke at Wildwood because she said that the rest of them are junk.
Oh geez. No, they're not junk. It's like hard because especially if you're trying to like spiritually tap in and you have that noise and stuff, I can't. But I would also say a mag flashlight is like one of the best things that if someone doesn't have a ton of money for equipment and you're just starting out, that was our first piece of equipment. A mag flashlight. And that like blows my mind. Every time we get something with that, I get so excited and think it's really a really cool thing. So that would be something too.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to spend a whole lot of money to have equipment and ghost hunt. There are,
No, it's really what you make it. Yeah, it's
yeah,
whatever you know, your preference.
I mean, you have your phone. Your phone can do multiple things. Dowsing
Hmm.
rods are pretty cheap. Little trigger objects are cheap. Cat balls are cheap. You can pick up a cheap REM pod or something, and yeah, you don't
Yeah,
need
oh
to spend $10,000, Sean, in
yeah.
equipment.
Not me. My equipment box would be empty.
Yeah.
No, you have one piece. I give you a fidget spinner or something like that.
I do still have the light up fidget spinner. Yeah,
Oh wait, that's funny. That's cool.
it is
All
pretty
right,
cool actually.
Brooke, go ahead and plug away anything you want to talk about yourself. You want to, Zach, anything you guys are doing, plug away.
Okay. Okay. I will go off on a huge rant now. So obviously our event in May, with Brady and everything. So May 25th at Olive Hill High School. Come and hang out with us and, public ghost hunt. And it's a really awesome opportunity because like you said, being pretty much all night. I mean, you're not paying for 4 hours or something like that. And you can't beat the price. I mean, really, it's very reasonable. There is hope on October 12th, obviously, at the Allegheny Community Center in Salmaker, and there will be like a ghost hunt and we'll do stuff with Wildwood too. So you'll have a chance to check out the location and support the cause. Um, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on this year. I'm really hoping to do a lot of content creating stuff, like TikTok, that kind of thing this year. Um, Zach is kind of going off on a whole new adventure. He's trying to stream games, but in a different way because he's like doing ghost hunting games. Like there's one, it's like demonologist or something, where you hunt ghosts while playing the
Huh.
game and stuff like that. So he's starting to do all that kind of stuff. Um, yeah, and obviously Wildwood too. I mean, book an investigation. I think I only have like 5 Saturdays left for the entire year. I mean, we're open every day, so don't worry about that. But if you want a Saturday, I pretty much only have November and December left.
Right. That's
Which is
good. That's good.
a good problem. Yeah, it's a great problem, but um, I already have a couple of bookings for 2025, so it's really going to be an awesome year for Wildwood. We're going to get a lot of work done at the house. And investigations, they're only $350 a night, and you only had to put down a $50 deposit to hold the date, which you can do right on our website. It's a super easy process to get a booking. Or you can just call us too if you need to. So yeah.
What's the website?
It's just www.wildwoodsanitarium.com.
Sweet. Sweet.
Yeah.
Now, you guys on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter,
Oh yeah, we're pretty
Twitch,
much on everything. Yeah,
everything?
not Twitch, but I just make a Discord, so we'll see how that goes. But
Okay. That's good.
yeah,
All
we
right.
we have all kinds of stuff. Obviously Facebook is our like main account. That's the one that's most updated, and our website. So and TikTok too. I mean we just hit almost 11,000 followers on TikTok, so that was really cool. We've been doing like a lot of live stuff on there, so
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I look forward to seeing you a lot this year. You'll
yeah,
probably
definitely, yeah.
probably get sick of me and you'll be like, I'm done. No more now.
That's all right.
We're all sick of you.
Shut up. Shut up. Well, Brooke, thank you so much for coming on and hanging out with us and talking about Wildwood and the paranormal and all that good stuff. And we didn't even
Yeah,
have to talk about the drama and the paranormal. That's good.
that's a great day.
Great day. Goddamn. Look, paranormal people, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Just do your thing and move on.
Yeah,
God,
I just stay out of everything, and what you
Jesus.
guys gotta do, you guys do, man. That's fine. I just don't want a part in it.
Like, I'm sitting here, like, you're just scrolling and scrolling. You're like, Jesus Christ. Like, I just want to fucking throw my phone.
Yeah. I'll
But
I'll see a post and stuff, and I'll ask Zach, I'm like, why can't we all love each other and just hunt ghosts? Like, why can't we do that? And I'll say that to Zach all the time. Like, why can't we just all love each other? Seriously.
there's a Shine Down song. If you know the band Shine Down, have you heard of?
Yeah. Yeah.
They have a song. It's called "How Do You Love." How did
Mhm.
you love?
You're not gonna sing, are you?
Fuck no, I can't sing. Shut
Okay,
up.
good.
But we're only here for a short period of time, and you hope to leave some type of legacy behind.
Mhm.
And I'm just gonna start asking people, well, how did you love?
Yeah. Yeah,
There's
there
your
you go.
answer. How did
Yeah.
you love?
Yeah.
I think look, we're not all gonna agree, and that's fine. Just move on.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
guys, seriously, book Wildwood Sanitarium. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. I promise you. This is an amazing location. And, great owners. It's a cool town. It's got like the old vibes, like you drove into the 60s. or something.
Yeah.
So, very special place. The Hope Paracon is an awesome event. And I hope to see you on May 25th with Brooke and Bree. Brooke, thank you so much for coming on. And next week, oh, it's going to be another epic episode. Who we having coming on next week, Sean?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up. Who is it?
Are you awake?
I have it on my calendar. I just don't know who it is.
Blade.
Oh yeah, next week. I forgot it was next week. I don't know what
Brooke,
day
I
it
need
is
a new
anymore.
co-host. You want to come on here and
I got you. No, I'm kidding.
all right, guys. Till next time, we love you. Thank you.